Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I think that problem I have considered last day. This in radio communication, the phase difference between etc. That was probably considered last day, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Consider another problem. This problem states that the Department of Electronics, it puts projects out on a bid and generally estimates what a reasonable bid should be. So if we call that estimate small b, so say the DOE has determined the density function as indicated here. All right. And in this span extending from y equal to 2b5 by 5 to 2b, this fy, this is a constant. All right. And it's zero otherwise. So you are asked to determine the probability that the winning bid is less than the DOE's preliminary estimate small b. And you have also been asked to determine the probability that the winning bid is greater than equal to 1.8b. So exact probability of the winning bid greater than 1.8b, that is required, and you have been also asked to compare it with the upper bounds obtained by Markov's inequality and Chebyshev's inequality. So just have a look. This is the nature of the density function. From 2b by 5 to 2b, it's a constant 5 by 8b. So probability of y less than b, that will be equal to integration over 2b by 5 to b fy, isn't it? Area under fy over that span. It will be the integral of fy from minus infinity to b, because for y equal to minus infinity up to y equal to 2b by 5, fy is 0. Therefore, it's sufficient to integrate it from 2b by 5 to b. Over that span, fy is 5 by 8b. So I have made that substitution and it comes out as 0.375. Later on, please check these answers. Y greater than 1.8b is the area under the density function over 1.8b to 2b. It should be actually, the actual expression should be 1.8b to infinity. But again, because for y greater than twice b, fy is 0. Therefore, the integration should extend from 1.8b to 2b. So I have evaluated that. It comes out as 0.125. So we are trying to find out the probability, the tail probability. If I call 1.8b as tail, but because this is a uniform density function, the tail, in the truest sense, the tail is non-existent and this is constant. So tail means actually some value very close to the edge. That is what is meant by tail of this distribution. So that is probability of y greater than 1.8b. Expectation of y, no derivation is required. It's simply the average of these two. So that comes out as 1.2b. All right. Mean square value comes out as expectation of y squared. This is the expression, comes out as 124 b squared by 75. Why do you require the mean square value? Because you have to obtain the standard deviation, because ultimately you have to apply Chebyshev's inequality. So you require the expectation as well as the standard deviation. The variance will be expectation of y square, that means the mean square value of y minus the square of the mean value of y, comes out as 16 by 75 b square. So the upper bound on the tail probability obtained by Markov's inequality comes out as probability of y greater than equal to 1.8b. It should be less than equal to that expectation divided by 1.8b, 0.67. Very far from the actual value. 0.125 is the actual value, and it comes out as it should be less than equal to 0.67. So what is the result if we apply Chebyshev's inequality? Probability of y greater than 1.8b, it's the probability of y minus mu y greater than 1.8b minus mu y. So probability of it's equal to the probability of y minus 1.2b greater than 0.6b. So this is according to Chebyshev's inequality 16b square by that value comes out as 0.59. So let's see that the values obtained by Markov's inequality and Chebyshev's inequality, they are close. For the example that I had cited earlier regarding a person's age, so that was there was a considerable difference between the Markov's inequality and Chebyshev's inequality. But here, because it's a uniform distribution, the difference is not so much. What is left as an assignment is that you may try to obtain the bound imposed by Chernow's bound. That you can try out and try to find out what will be the bound. All right, now you may write down this. তুই আমার জলের বোতলটা প্লাস্টিকের বার করে দেবে।
Yes, sir.
Can you go up once?
Oh, yes, yes.
Thank you, sir.
So if you try out obtaining that Chernow's bound, first of all, you require the expression for the moment generating function. Then only can you proceed. Hmm. Krasnitsky. Huh? Oh, ঠিক আছে।
Yes, sir.
Have a look at the next problem.
Sir, एक second, एक second.
हाँ 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 लिखो लिखो।
Yes, sir. Done.
So in the next problem, it is stated that x has a uniform distribution on that interval 0 to 10. You are asked to find out the probability of capital X plus 10 by x greater than equal to 7, that event. So how will you proceed? It's a rather simple problem. X plus 10 by x greater than equal to 7 means x square plus 10 greater than equal to 7x. All right. That means if you shift this 7x to the left hand side, it's x square minus 7x plus 10 greater than equal to 0. If you factorize this quadratic, you will get x minus 5 into x minus 2 greater than equal to 0. That means here you have to find out the probability that capital X is less than equal to 2 or capital X is greater than equal to 5. That probability. All right. So it's 1 minus the probability of capital X lying in this range, 2 to 5, lying in this range. All right. So that finding out that probability is simple. The density function is to be integrated over this interval 2 to 5. Recall that this density function, it has a uniform nature over 0 to 10. So what is the height of this density function? Obviously 1 by 10, 1/10. So that the area under the density function is 1. So it is 1 by 10 over the span 2 to 5. It's 1 by 10 over the span 0 to 10. So it will also be 1 by 10 over the span 2 to 5. So that comes out as 3 by 10. So 1 minus 3 by 10 is 7 by 10. That means 0.7. As simple as that. Oof. হয়েছে
Yes, sir. Done.
See here, in the next problem, it is stated that x is a uniform random variable over the span 0 to 3. It implies that over the span 0 to 3, fx is constant and that value of that constant is 1 by 3. So given that random variable x, you have been asked to find out the probability that the quadratic equation 4t squared plus 4tx plus x plus 2 equal to 0 has real solutions. Probability that this quadratic equation will have real solutions. See here in this quadratic equation, the variable is t, all right, and x is a random variable. So it's an equation. This is an equation in quadratic equation in t, and x serves as the coefficients of the terms in t. So here, how would you proceed? Fx is 1/3 for x equal to 0 to 3, and it's 0 outside that span. So for that quadratic equation to have real solutions, what should be the condition that has to be
The
satisfied
determinant should be
by the?
greater than 0.
Yes, the discriminant should be
That's
non-negative, greater than equal to 0. If the discriminant is non-negative, that means this is the discriminant, b square minus 4ac, isn't it? So 4x, all right, that is b. So 16x square minus 4 into x plus 2. Sorry, 4 into 4 into x plus 2. So that should be greater than equal to 0. That means x square minus x minus 2 should be greater than equal to 0, or x minus 2 into x plus 1, that should be greater than equal to 0. So probability of x minus 2 into x plus 1 greater than equal to 0 is equal to the probability of x less than equal to minus 1 or x greater than equal to 2. All right, ORing. So this is this probability. So it's the probability. What is that probability? You can straightway obtain it by adding these probabilities. Integration over minus infinity to minus 1 fx, integration over 2 to 3 fx. The first one gives the probability of capital X less than equal to minus 1, and the second one gives the probability of capital X greater than equal to 2. So that comes out as this is actually 0 because the fx is here 1 by 3 for x greater than equal to 0 to less than equal to 3. That's why this in this span fx is 0. So this should be 0. So what remains is the second integral, and that is obtained in this way, comes out as 1/3. You could have also evaluated it if you just considered the probability of capital X lying in this range, minus 1 to 2, isn't it? Or it should be greater than 2. Sorry, greater than equal to 2. So you have to be, it has to be obtained in this way. You have written it, okay. Or you haven't? You have written it or not? Write it down then. Just 1 minute. Yes.
Yes, sir. Done.
হয়ে গেছে লেখা?
Yes, sir. Done.
Suppose y is a uniform random variable in the range 0 to 1, and say y is 1/4 x squared. So you have been asked to find out what is the probability density function of x. Fx will be the probability of capital X less than equal to small x. So it is same as capital X square less than equal to small x square, or 1/4 capital X square less than equal to 1/4 small x squared. Now 1/4 capital X square, that is capital Y. All right. Then because Fy, it is constant over that span 0 to 1, and that constant value is 1, because the area under the density function has to be 1. So this probability will be obtained simply by integrating Fy over the span y equal to 0 to x square by 4. So Fy is here 1, it comes out as x square by 4. That is the cumulative distribution function of x, remember, is the cumulative distribution function. The density function is required probably, yes. So that is the derivative of capital Fx. It comes out as x by 2 over that span, x greater than equal to 0 to 2 and 0 otherwise. All right. I have taken it from a book, that's why that number is coming, 6.1.
Sir, done.
So that was about the uniform density function. Second type of density function that I'll consider, that is exponential probability density. Exponential probability density. Exponential probability density finds extensive use in many places, particularly in reliability engineering. The life of electronic items, that is obviously a random variable, and it is represented by an exponential probability density in many cases. That is not the only one, but is the most used. So density function expression is lambda e to the power minus lambda x ux. Therefore, the cumulative distribution function, it will be the integral of the density function, and it will be given, it's an exponentially rising nature. So that is an exponentially decaying nature, the density function, and the cumulative distribution function obviously has an exponentially rising nature. The decay constant is 1 by lambda. Lambda is the parameter of the distribution, single parameter distribution. 1 minus fx, the complement of the cumulative distribution function, it finds application in many cases. So that will be e to the power minus lambda x us. Write down this part. Exponential probability density is also used, it is also used to model the duration of phone calls, etc. So this is fx. See here, for x equal to 0, it's lambda. If you integrate fx over minus infinity to plus infinity, the result has to be 1. You can cross check if you like. So this is fx, small fx rather. This is capital Fx. The complement of capital Fx is also an exponentially decaying function. You know the property of a cumulative distribution function is that at x tends to infinity, fx should tend to 1. This is 1 minus fx. Here, I am utilizing the moment generating function. Recall the expression for the moment generating function. It's the Laplace transform of bilateral Laplace transform or two-sided Laplace transform of small fx with s replaced by minus s. That is the expression. So here I have evaluated the integral, and ultimately this is the expression for the moment generating function. All right. So It's lambda by lambda minus s. The first derivative of mxs, this is a repetition of mxs. Did not write it twice. The first derivative of mxs with respect to s, that comes out as given by this expression. So why do we take the first derivative? Because if you substitute s equal to 0 in the first derivative, you will get the expectation of exponentially distributed random variable. So just see that if you substitute s equal to 0, you will get the expectation as 1 by lambda. Write down this part, then I'll proceed. After this term, you can write it as equal to lambda by lambda minus s. This is redundant because I have already written down the expression here. So expectation of x is mx prime 0, it's 1 by lambda. If you want to find out the variance, variance will be mean squared value of x minus square of the mean value of x. Square of the mean value will be 1 by lambda square. So you have to obtain the second derivative of the moment generating function with respect to s. And in that expression, you have to replace s with 0. This is the expression for the second derivative of the moment generating function with respect to s. 2 by lambda squared within brackets 1 minus s by lambda raised to the power minus 3. So the mean square value comes out as 2 by lambda squared. And the difference gives the variance. It's 1 by lambda squared. What is the standard deviation? Standard deviation is the positive square root of variance comes out as 1 by lambda. So the expectation of the random variable is 1 by lambda. The standard deviation also is 1 by lambda. Standard deviation sigma is 1 by lambda. After that, I am considering a very important property of exponential distribution. This is called lack of memory property of exponential distribution. Extremely important property. So to prove this property, I have to take the help of what I discuss in reliability engineering, that of time to failure or life of an electronic item. So that is the best way. Suppose tau represents the time to failure of an electronic item. An electronic item under new condition is put into operation. So when that electronic item will fail, that is represented by tau, measured from the origin of time. You can easily understand that tau is a random variable. You cannot predict exactly when the electronic item will fail. That is true for any engineering machine or component, etc. Now, because tau represents the time to failure and is therefore a random variable, it has a cumulative distribution function capital F with argument t. It is the probability of tau less than equal to small t. All right. So I am assuming that this time to failure of an electron of the electronic item, its distribution, its probability density function is exponential in nature. That is obviously my assumption, because I am trying to prove a certain property of exponential distribution. So the cumulative distribution function is therefore 1 minus e to the power minus lambda t ut, and 1 minus ft is the probability of tau greater than equal to small t given by this expression. What does 1 minus capital Ft really represent? If Ft represents the probability of the item failing in that time small t measured from the origin, what does 1 minus capital Ft represent? It obviously represents, because this is the probability of the item surviving up to the instant small t measured from the origin. All right. Now, that is straightway the probability of surviving. But that is actually what is known as an a priori probability. We haven't taken into consideration the past history of the item. That means we have not taken into consideration the aging of the item. As time progresses, the item ages, so it may happen that wear and tear may creep in. Thereby, to take into consideration that effect of aging, we introduce what is known as the a posteriori probability of failure and a posteriori probability of survival. What is that? A posteriori probability of survival is that given the item has survived, listen carefully, given the item has survived up to the instant x naught, what will be the probability of its survival for a further duration small t measured from x naught? So that is called the a posteriori probability of survival. And it takes into account the aging of the item. So what will be this conditional probability? You know that conditional probability, I have shown that it's the joint probability of tau greater than equal to x naught plus t and tau greater than x naught. I have shown the the intersection indicates that it's a joint probability. So divided by the marginal probability of tau greater than x naught. All right. What will be that intersection? Just see here, the tau greater than x naught is here. This is the zero instant. This is the instant x naught. Tau greater than x naught means tau starts from here and extends up to plus infinity. And tau greater than x naught plus t means tau starts here and extends up to infinity, plus infinity. So what is the overlap? What is the intersection? Intersection is this one, starting from x naught plus t up to tau equal to infinity. Isn't that the overlap or the intersection? So intersection is obviously tau greater than x naught plus t. So I have written here probability of tau greater than x naught plus t divided by tau greater than x naught. What will be that? I have obtained the expression for the complement of the cumulative distribution function, which is probability of tau greater than a certain value. So it's e to the power minus lambda into x naught plus t divided by e to the power minus lambda into x naught. Dividing the numerator by the denominator, it comes out as e to the power minus lambda t ut. So it's same as probability of tau greater than equal to t. So irrespective of whether the item I have taken in, irrespective of whether I have taken into consideration the aging of the item, the probability of survival remains same. That means the item does not age. So this particular property of the exponential distribution is called lack of memory property of exponential distribution. What's the significance of the term lack of memory? The distribution does not remember the past history of the random variable. In our case, the aging of the item, that fact is not remembered by the distribution. Do you understand? X naught has no effect here. So that is called the lack of memory property of exponential distribution. Write down. If you have any question, any part unclear, please let me know. That is the a posteriori survival probability. The a posteriori failure probability will simply be 1 minus the a posteriori survival probability. So what is a posteriori failure probability? Probability that the item will fail in that span extending from x naught to x naught plus t, given the item has survived up to x naught. That is given below. This is the a posteriori failure probability. So both a posteriori failure probability and a posteriori survival probability, they are independent of aging.
Yes, sir, it does.
Hmm. So, as I have stated, it's very often used in reliability studies to model the time until failure of an electronic device or component. So, I have also mentioned that exponential random variable is used to model the duration of a cell phone or phone call. It's also used to model how long it takes a computer network to transmit a message from one node to another. One of the very important distribution is obviously the Gaussian distribution, and it can be shown that if u and v are statistically independent Gaussian random variables, then u square plus v square, that will be exponential in nature, and root over u square plus v square, if u and b are statistically independent Gaussian random variables, that will have a Rayleigh distribution. We may consider later. If time permits, we may consider the Rayleigh distribution. So these are a few examples where exponential random variable is used for modeling random phenomenon. have a look at this example. So what is stated here is that given that a cell phone call has lasted for more than t seconds so far, let's assume that the conditional probability that this call ends by t plus delta t is approximately lambda into delta t, when delta t obviously is very small. And you have been asked to show that the call duration is an exponentially distributed, is a random variable with exponential distribution, and the parameter of the distribution is lambda. So how to show that or prove that? Let us represent the call duration by capital T. So according to what has been stated in the problem statement, probability of capital T less than equal to T plus delta T, just see here that it was the conditional probability that the call ends by T plus delta T, given that it has lasted up to T seconds or more than T seconds anyway. So let capital T denote the call duration. So the probability of capital T less than equal to T plus delta T, given capital T is greater than T, according to the problem statement, it is lambda into delta T. So to find the density function of that random variable capital T, how will we proceed? So let t greater than small t be greater than equal to 0. So probability of capital T less than equal to small t plus delta t, given that capital T is greater than small t, is that is a conditional probability. So what will that be equal to? The joint probability divided by the marginal probability. Here the marginal probability is capital T greater than small t. Now what will be that intersection of these two events? Capital T greater than small t and capital T less than equal to small t plus delta t. Just see here. I have started counting time from that instant. This is the instant t. This is the instant t plus delta t, not drawn to scale obviously. So capital T less than equal to t plus delta t, that is this span extending from 0 to this t plus delta t. And capital T greater than small t, that extends from this instant small t up to infinity, capital T equal to infinity. So the intersection of these two has to be obtained. What is that intersection? What I have marked here and labeled as capital T greater than small t less than small t plus delta t. That thing. All right. That is the overlap. That is the intersection. So that's what I have written here. Probability of capital T greater than small t less than equal to small t plus delta t. The marginal probability is here. So this probability is equal to, that means that probability, it is equal to what I have shown, it's this ratio. So the numerator is given by that integral f t theta, theta say, theta is a dummy variable. So integrated over the span t to t plus delta t, because this extends, capital T extends from small t to t plus delta t. And in the numerator, you have probability of capital T greater than small t. All right. So for small delta t, the left hand side, this one, is approximately lambda into delta t. And the right hand side is approximately, as you can see, ft into delta t divided by probability of capital T greater than small t. Now lambda into delta t is equal to this ratio. Therefore, the density function small ft, it will be, if you just cross multiply, it will be lambda into probability of capital T greater than small t. This delta t and that delta t will cancel out. All right. So lambda times the integral of f theta from theta equal to t to plus infinity. That will be equal to ft. What is this term? That represents the right hand side. Probability of capital T greater than small t, it is given by this integral. All right. So lambda into that probability is equal to ft. Means ft is minus lambda into that integral. So if you differentiate both sides, that is the differential equation this you obtain for t greater than equal to 0. Now the solution of this differential equation will be of this nature. Ft equal to some constant into e to the power minus lambda t. Now, because ft has to be a probability density function, therefore the area under the density function has to be 1. So if you equate that, you will find that c will come out as lambda. All right. Write down.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay.
তো একবার উপরে যাবেন। থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
Sorry.
Yes, sir. Done. Sir.
Now I have tried here to obtain an expression for the kth central moment of the random variable, exponential random variable. Kth central moment is the kth moment of the centered random variable, the fluctuation of capital X about its mean, mu x. So that is the, by the law of the unconscious statistician, it will be x minus mu x raised to the power capital K fx, integral of that. Mu x is 1 by lambda. I have made that substitution here. Now I have replaced x minus 1 by lambda by y. So x is equal to y plus 1 by lambda. So dx and dy, they are same. Here, because the variable of integration has to be, I am trying to change it over to y. So x equal to 0 means y equal to minus 1 by lambda. X equal to infinity means y is also infinite. So if you introduce these changes in order to change over from x to y as the variable of integration, this is what you will get. All right. So it ultimately comes out as 1 by lambda to the power k summation over m equal to 0 to capital K, k factorial by m factorial times minus 1 to the power m. Given this general expression, now you can consider different values of k and try to find out the uh, central moments for different values of k. 0th central moment comes out as 1 from this expression. That means if you substitute k equal to 0, because 0 factorial is 1, that 0th central moment is coming out as expected, coming out as 1. First central moment from this expression, it comes out as 0. First central moment means k equal to 1. Now if you consider the second central moment, the variance, that comes out as 1 by lambda square, which was derived independently. Third central moment comes out as the skewness. It comes out as 2 by lambda cubed. And the fourth central moment, which is the kurtosis, comes out as 9 by lambda to the power 4. Just see here that the skewness is positive. That, I mean, is in conformity with the nature of fx here, because the tail points to the right. The tail points to the right. Therefore, according to what we have discussed earlier, the skewness should be positive, the positive skewed. So just write down this part, then I'll log out.
Yes, sir. Done.
Hmm. We'll just stop here. Or continue next day, Saturday at 7:30. হলে বলো।
স্যার বলছিলাম
হুম।
ওই দিন কেবি স্যার কিন্তু আমাদের ক্লাস নেয়নি, তো আপনি একবার
বোধহয়
কনফার্ম তো একটু ওনার সঙ্গে কথা বলে আস করতে পারবেন ওই দিন নিলে 7:30 থেকে নিতে পারেন, আদারওয়াইজ 7 o'clock থেকেও নিতে পারেন,
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে,
আদারওয়াইজ আরো লেট হয়ে যায় রাত্রের দিকে।
আমি বুঝতে পেরেছি। ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে।
Yes, sir. Done.
ঠিক আছে। So we'll meet next day.